Good morning. Welcome to Pride in Bloom at the Dallas Arboretum and Botanical Garden. Dallas is proud of its history, and LGBTQ history is an inextricable part of Dallas history. The Dallas Arboretum and the Dallas LGBTQ community have coincidental, parallel histories. The Dallas Arboretum is arguably the most beautiful garden in America, and the Dallas LGBTQ community is arguably the most vibrant rainbow community in America. Dallas can be proud of both. With the world's largest predominantly LGBTQ church, the most successful LGBT theater company, the most recorded male chorus, the world's largest LGBTQ seated dinner fundraiser, and the largest fundraising organization for HIV/AIDS in Texas. That is Pride in Bloom. The first Rainbow LULAC chapter was formed in Dallas. We are the first in Texas to have an LGBTQ historical subject marker certified by the Texas Historical Commission. We have more rainbow crosswalks than any city in America. The city of Dallas has comprehensive ordinances offering lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender residents protection from discrimination in employment, housing, and other public areas. We are the first in America to have an official Pride version of our city flag. That is Pride in Bloom for all of Dallas. None of these achievements came easily. Prior to World War II, there was no language to describe an LGBTQ identity. Without language, there can be no written history. At the end of World War II, Dallas was a magnet for servicemen who had witnessed the freedom that gay people enjoyed in Europe. As Judy Garland famously asked,
"How you gonna keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paris?"
World War II veterans were not willing to go back to their small towns in rural Texas. They made a beeline for the Dallas skyline. 1945 is the year we begin to see gay history taking shape in Dallas. The first gay bar in Dallas was called Villa Fontana, located on Exall Park near Baylor Hospital. Opened in the early 1950s, it provided a place for gay men and women to socialize. House parties were a way to socialize privately. However, both public gay bars and private house parties were frequently raided by the police. Our rainbow community socialized secretly until the civil rights movement showed us the way to fight for our rights. These are our heroes, our mentors. The dynamic, can-do spirit that Dallasites celebrate is found in every community. Texas does not always welcome its LGBTQ citizens. Section 2106 of the Texas Penal Code made same-sex relations between two consenting adults a crime. Here are a few of the examples we faced due to our criminal status. Then, the Stonewall Riots. In June 1969, gay liberation began. There had been uprisings before Stonewall, and there have been uprisings since. The Stonewall Riots were significant because they continued for 6 consecutive nights and received media attention. National visibility provided its power and secured its place in history. However, the Stonewall Riots meant little to Dallas gays and lesbians. Our righteous political fire was ignited by our reaction to Anita Bryant, Miss America 1959, who represented the Florida orange growers. Bryant headed a national effort to demonize homosexuals to ensure they would never gain civil rights. Protest. Our rainbow community participated in the national boycott of orange juice until the orange growers felt the pain. Bryant was fired, and the rainbow community in Dallas discovered political power. We learned protesting, partnering, organization, and support skills that serve us well to this day. 1982 is a significant year in the history of the Arboretum, as well as Dallas's rainbow community. In 1982, the city of Dallas created an Arboretum and Botanical Garden on the combined 66 acres of the DeGolyer and Camp properties. At the same time, the Foundation for Human Understanding, which later became Resource Center, was founded, along with Black Tie Dinner and the Turtle Creek Corral and the MCC, which later grew into the Cathedral of Hope. The Dallas Arboretum and the Dallas LGBTQ community were born, figuratively speaking, at the same time and therefore have coincidental parallel histories, often existing in parallel universes. Protesters have taken to the street throughout history. The Protestant Reformation, the Boston Tea Party, the Stonewall Riots. Sometimes demands are nailed to a church door or mailed from a Birmingham jail. Tea is thrown overboard or orange juice is boycotted. Dallas leaders learned we must combine our protests with face-to-face meetings to create partnerships for the future. Look at this message written on the Stonewall Inn the morning after the first night of rioting. This message is signed by the Mattachine Society, founded in 1950 to protect and improve the rights of gay men. This photo illustrates how street protesters need counterpart peaceful negotiators to visit City Hall to work with the mayor and the chief of police, just as professional negotiators need the threat of continued unrest by street protesters to provide leverage for their negotiations. Each group is dependent on the other in a symbiotic relationship. Protests can be a way of showing love and respect. Tough love, if you will. Tough love is affectionate concern expressed in a stern or unsentimental manner, especially to promote responsible behavior. Protests represent tough love. Let's look at examples in Dallas history of protests that led to partnerships. In the late 1970s, Dallas School Superintendent Nolan Estes declared to the press that there were no gay teachers in DISD, or possibly one or two, who, if ever found, would be immediately fired. He obviously felt this policy would make a big, bold statement about his responsible leadership. However, he created a much bigger problem for himself. State Representative Harriet Earhart called Mr. Estes to her home to privately inform him that firing gay teachers throughout the DISD would cost more than 10% of his workforce, a nearly 1,000% increase over what he had estimated. Don Baker was one of the most popular and award-winning teachers in DISD who, nevertheless, lost his teaching job under the Nolan Estes policy. He knew that such harsh discrimination against gay teachers was based upon the state law, which made private relations between consenting adults of the same gender a crime. Baker later sued in federal court to have that law declared unconstitutional. Baker v. Wade and subsequent related cases ultimately led to victory in the United States Supreme Court, nullifying all such laws throughout the country. And that decision began the process that later brought us marriage equality. Although Baker's career as a highly esteemed teacher was never revived, it was his hope that the gay and lesbian teachers who came after him would not know such baseless discrimination and prejudice. Did Don Baker sue because he hated the DISD? No. He sued because he wanted to serve with them. He wanted to return to being one of them. He wanted the DISD to live up to its greatest potential, to fulfill the American promise of liberty and justice for all. Today, DISD embraces its LGBTQ teachers and staff, and they serve openly to the great benefit of all students. Equity and equality permeate throughout the district. Don Baker's protest led to partnership, and all of Dallas benefits. Micah England always wanted to be a police officer. In 1987, she applied to be a Dallas police officer. Her test scores were exemplary and her aptitude was high. Question number 14 on the job application ended Micah's possible employment. Have you participated in a deviant sexual act? Micah answered no, because she was deeply in love with the person with whom she shared intimacy. It was sweet and tender and caring and loving. Nothing deviant about that. Micah was a lesbian and therefore was a criminal under Texas law. For 2 years, she spoke to the Dallas City Council, the Dallas Police Department, and Mayor Strauss to give them an opportunity to live up to their promise of being an equal opportunity employer. Micah filed a lawsuit in May of 1990, England versus the city of Dallas. After years of court battles, Micah England won. Her win freed up municipal employment statewide. Did Micah England sue because she hated the Dallas Police Department? No. She sued because she wanted to serve with them. She wanted to become one of them. She wanted the DPD to live up to its greatest potential, to fulfill the American promise of liberty and justice for all. Today, the DPD has a special liaison with the LGBTQ community who, originally, was kept separate and distinct from the other community policing subgroups, such as African American, Hispanic, Asian American, and Tribal. However, with time and partnership, the Dallas Police Department has joined the LGBTQ liaison with the other subgroups, creating one united community policing family. The DPD is one of the most diverse police forces in America, at times under female police chief Renee Hall. Micah England's protest led to partnership, and all of Dallas benefits. Protests can be a powerful tool for change, and they can also be a starting point for partnerships. Those two lawsuits, along with many protests and partnerships, have brought us to where we are today. LGBTQ history is an inextricable part of Dallas history. LGBTQ history is not more widely known because it was intentionally hidden from us. Thanks to your being here today, you have a better understanding of the rich and beautiful history of Dallas. This is a mere sliver of the LGBTQ history of Dallas. The Dallas Way wants you to share your story with us, to help us fulfill our mission, to gather, organize, store, and present the complete LGBTQ history of Dallas. Just as the election of Barack Obama did not end racism in America, neither did gay marriage equality end homophobia in America. We continue to fight for the right to exist. Unenlightened citizens still threaten us and our allies with physical assault and legislative attack. Allyship is not comfortable because the people with whom you are allying yourself are not comfortable. LGBTQ citizens are a minority. We rely on enlightened and loving allies to bring justice. That is why we feel a special joy to be at Pride in Bloom. We plant joy wherever we can. We grow joy whenever we can. We share joy as often as we can. One of our greatest joys is the first legal gay marriage in Dallas County between Jack Evans and George Harris in 2015. Jack and George have served as role models for 50+ years and have inspired multiple generations of leaders in our community. Feel the joy of Pride in Bloom because we have gone from protest to partnership. Last summer, a group of us protested at the front gates of the Dallas Arboretum. Did we protest because we hate the Arboretum? No, we protested because we love the Arboretum. We wanted the Arboretum to live up to its greatest potential, to fulfill the American promise of liberty and justice for all. And the Arboretum is in the process of doing that, especially with this weekend with Pride in Bloom. Did you know the Pride in Bloom weekend is the best-selling weekend of the entire summer? We thank the Dallas Arboretum for its courage to respond to our protest with a partnership with our rainbow community. Partnerships require mutual respect, common dignity, and accountability. It is only through this shared commitment that a partnership can blossom, thrive, and grow. To that end, the LGBTQ community expects the Dallas Arboretum to hold itself accountable for creating an environment for its employees and its visitors that respects our humanity and that provides dignity to all. The LGBTQ community pledges to provide the Dallas Arboretum with that same dignity and respect. For 40 years, the Dallas Arboretum and the Dallas Rainbow community have existed in parallel universes, each striving to succeed, each growing in strength. And now, through partnership, we are linked historically. Dallas loves to celebrate its history. Today, we are making history. Pride in Bloom is a powerful partnership. Let us move forward together to make Dallas the world-class city we know it is.